Welcome back to Behind the Bands. I've got the entire band from Mach 22 here. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here. Having us.
So, if you don't mind, for folks that may not know this great band out of Philadelphia, if you could just kind of say your name and what you do in the band, if we could go down the line.
Sure. All right, I'm Lamont, lead vocal.
Sebastian, LaBar, guitar.
Damian, Monte, Carlo, drums.
Merrill, guitar.
Jaron, Galino, bass.
So the first thing I want to ask you about, I was reading and kind of looking at what you are doing on Facebook there, keeping up, and it sounds like there was a trip to Tennessee involved that had some pretty big implications for the band. So whoever wants to talk about that.
How do we get into Tennessee anyway? Who started?
We drove through like 4 or 5 states.
Well, that's how
I think he needs music.
Right. That's how we traveled there.
A little less literal.
Right.
We actually.
I like the way he thinks, literal.
Down to Tennessee to go to my dad's studio, my dad's buddy's studio. He was producing some of our songs. We did 9 songs while we were down there. We plan on putting out a record. We have a date on that?
It's almost done being mixed. Got to go through mastering, and then we're going to shop it and take it from there.
Yeah. It's probably I don't know.
So a few months out.
Early next year, I would think.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, the folks that may not know the band, you referenced your dad's studio. For folks that may not know who your dad is, if you would share who your dad is.
Jeff LaBar from Cinderella.
So folks may want to know that about you. So tell us some of the experiences down there in Tennessee. I mean, some of the music and the non-music experiences that you can tell on the ones you can tell on a few shows. I'll try to get it before he said
beautiful women.
Yeah, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of
the women are, the ratio is like 5 to 1 down there. It's like 5 girls for every guy. So.
And it's like, and all the 5 girls are hot.
Yeah. High quality.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Now, what about the recording experience itself? What was that like?
Oh yeah, to record.
Yeah, recording experience was great.
Oh yeah, what we went down there for.
Exactly. No, the recording experience was great. I mean, it was cool to actually have time where we actually got out of Philly, and we didn't have to worry about going to work the next day after being in the studio, because sometimes it's hard to focus when you got something else to do. You got to go home. You got to pay this bill. You got to go home. We didn't do shit except after we got done. We were like, all right, what are we gonna do tonight? Hey, let's go drink. So we went drank, and then we went to the studio the next day. And then afterwards we got done. It wasn't like, oh man, I gotta leave early. My girl's calling me. She wants me to take out the garbage, trash day tomorrow. No, it was like we were down, away from everything.
Converted old barn, got some really great sounds out of it.
Yeah.
Great tones. It was just a nice work ethic, just relaxing. Pounded everything out within the 6-7 days we had, and was ready to rock and put it out, man.
Yeah, it was a farm like out in the middle of nowhere right outside Nashville. It's like
Garth Brooks ranch.
Yeah, right next to Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. GB Farms.
GB Estates or some shit.
Subtle, but people could probably figure it out if they applied themselves.
Was that Good Boys?
It probably would have went right over my head, not knowing anything about country music.
Now, there's a fella standing down here that just got a guitar endorsement. Is that correct?
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
I just recently got endorsed by Paul Reed Smith Guitars.
Woo!
You have been doing your research.
We try. Now, what's involved in getting a guitar endorsement for someone like me? Do you contact them? Do they contact you? How's that work?
A lot of hard work, knowing the right people, and I've always loved their guitars. I've always played them, and I just wrote a letter to a guy named Rich Hannon who does artist relations, and I knew a guy named Brian Ewald, fantastic guitar player, who he was an endorsee and very good friends with Paul, and he said, just send him, be honest, send him an email, and just tell him that you actually love the instruments. You're not just looking for freebies. And I did, and I was expecting a long email back being like, okay, yeah, not at this time, And Rich emailed me right back, and he's like, yeah, we'd love to have you be a part of the family. They have an open house called The Experience, which is like all their artists come together for this massive festival. They're like, yeah, here's a free pass for it. Enjoy yourself. I'm like, okay.
see you guys got a show coming up, but I didn't know this till I learned this from your website about the band Cheap Thrill. You guys are going to be playing with them soon, is that correct? Can you tell us about that?
Next week.
3 dates.
Yeah, the first date is what?
12.
Saturday?
Next Saturday.
12th and 13th.
12th, 13th,
and then the 19th.
Yeah.
And for people that might not know, that's a band that's got members from Cinderella and Collective Soul in it, so be sharing the stage with some pretty big names.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are starting to branch out a little, right? You've played some shows. You're outside of Philly now.
Yeah.
Moving around. Talk about some of the places you've been traveling.
On the way to Nashville, we played.
Kentucky.
Played in
What was it?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Hill Tavern?
Phoenix Hill Tavern.
Phoenix Hill. That was a really
Good
cool
time.
spot.
Yeah.
Good spot.
Great spot.
Great.
We played up in New England a few times. Connecticut.
Boston, Rochester,
Yeah, Rochester, New York.
Yeah, Rochester was
Boston,
cool.
Connecticut.
New York lately. Trying to hit it all. Ready to go west.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Now, I was asking Ted earlier because I saw him. Tell us about, you guys made a music video already for the record, and tell us about that experience, the song, and what the experience was like.
I mean, it's so much that goes behind like doing a music video. You gotta have the right time. You have to have the right weather. I mean, like
Very chaotic.
it seems so dispersed because it was like the one day that we did the roof shots where we did like the actual live footage for the music video. It was kind of cool, but then it was like the next day we were doing like some of the sketched parts to intertwine with it, and it was like raining, then it stopped, and then the sun broke, and then it got cloudy, and then we lost daylight, and we were like, oh, we can't do it. And, you know, we had like some mishaps where we had like some people that were supposed to drive in the video, and then we found out that they didn't have licenses, or they didn't know how to drive. Right, or they didn't have the ability to drive at all. We're like, what the fuck?
Like, gee, thanks for telling us.
Right, yeah, wait until the last minute, be like, oh, by the way, I can drive.
Yeah, they're like literally sit behind the wheel.
Right, and the cameraman's like, all right, we're going to take the shot. I'm like, I don't know how to drive. It's like,
Yeah, we started in June and then got rained out the second day, and then it just kept getting put off, and we just finished like last weekend. So a couple weeks it should be done. Might wait to put it out with the album or maybe before, we'll see. But it's done, so.
yeah.
So we're looking forward to seeing that. I love the story about the driver. It's good.
I see all the roads ahead, just like the cars about to feel. Oh man, take it easy, baby boy. I feel my mistake. Gotta be a beautiful one, but there's no room to play, and I don't care what they say. I gotta have it my way. Here I am.
Tell me a little bit about, so this is not the original lineup. How did this group finally settle, like with what you got now?
Patience, really. I mean, it settled through like. I mean, basically the way I see it, it was kind of a will of not wanting to stop and wanting to keep going forward. And usually, when you have situations like that with bands, and somebody leaves or somebody gets something else going on, or they got another gig or whatever. Usually, for some people they think it's like in a halt, like a halt, like you just stop. And we were just like, no, we want to keep going. So it was kind of like me, Sebastian, and Damian. We were like, no, we're not stopping. We're gonna keep going. And then it was like one member left, and then we were like, okay, now we gotta find the guitars. And then while we were searching for guitars, that being Ted, it was like our bass player, like, had some other shit. And he was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna split. And then we were just like, but luckily, we were connected with Jaron, and from.
Actually, Frank was the one. Our old bass player was the one. He told Jaron before he told us.
Like, hey, I'm gonna be leaving tonight, so if you want to learn the songs real quick, they have a gig next week. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll go over there right now.
And then he was like, hey, I gotta talk to you guys tonight. And,
Right. And it was cool because it was kind of like he did it in a way that was kind of that needed to be done. So that was kind of how Jaron came into the band. It was cool because Jaron was like, all right, cool, I'll learn the songs now. I know most of. He's like, I know most of them already.
And we had a gig like 10 days later, not even maybe.
Right. And we just said, we're just gonna like jump in the fire.
Yeah.
Either burn or get polished really quickly and dust ourselves off.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you tonight. We always have liked seeing you guys play live. We've been following you for quite a while now. I think I don't remember where we met you, but we've been following you for a while. We're looking forward to the live show. Guys, best of luck. And where do you want people to go to check out Mach 22 music? Where's the launching?
Mach22music.com.
Yeah, Mach22music.com. You were halfway there.
All I had to do was say the name.
.com.
Is Mach capitalized or anything? It doesn't matter.
No.
Mach22music.com.
MACH22music.com.
Guys, this is Mach 22. I'm K-Rock for Behind the Bands. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.